Happy Thursday, Facebook friends. Welcome back to Facebook. I'm Angie Garza, Director of Professional Learning and Educational Services at ROE 47, serving Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. And if you are joining us back here on this fine Thursday on Facebook, you'll know that it is time for another edition of Teacher Talk. And we could not, on this fine fall day, have our Teacher Talk Thursday without my good friend, colleague, and co-host, Ms. Stacy Dingus. So good morning, Stacy. Welcome back to another edition of Teacher Talk as we move further into our school year this year.
Morning, Angie. Happy to be here as always. And I feel like we were just talking about the end of last school year and then the beginning of the school year, and now fall is right there. I have to say, though, it feels good to kind of be back into a normal schedule, and we are really doing some great things within ROE 47. We're really ramping up our services that we're providing to our communities, to our schools, and our families. It's something that I'm excited about, and definitely happy to be able to share that message to our viewers today.
Stacy, you are so right. And this is a teacher talk that I think will interest a lot of people in our 3 county areas because we're going to be talking about mental health. We know that as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic over the last several years, that we've seen some increased incidences of trauma. We've seen maybe some community members alienated from some typical services and structures that they've been accustomed to because of how the pandemic impacted the way that we kind of go about our everyday lives. And so we're circling back around to have more conversations about mental health, to have more conversations about how we can welcome families and community members back together, and really kind of re-engaging all of our community partners to have conversations about how we can build and strengthen community systems. So that is no small task. And so to do that, we have a brand new team at the Regional Office of Education who is devoted to this work and to this idea of community partnerships and mental health and growth and reconnection through a very special grant from the Illinois State Board of Education. And so as we kick off our teacher talk this morning, we are very pleased to welcome 2 of our team members to the Facebook this morning. We have with us this morning Katie Godin, who is our new social emotional learning coach, and someone who is no stranger to teacher talks and to the ROE 47 service area, Michelle Potoff, who has moved into a new role as a family education and engagement specialist. So we're going to start off with letting our team members talk a little bit more about who they are, where they came from, and what they're up to this year. So Katie, we will start off with you. Welcome. This is your inaugural teacher talk. We are so happy to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in the context of this work in our office?
All right, thanks for having me on here. My name's Katie Godin. I'm the new social emotional learning coach with the ROE. Previously, I was a supervisor at Mississippi Centers for Healthy Families. So this role is going to consist of working with the SEL Hub out of Rockford to implement the TRSIA assessments and action plans, and then also the SEL side of the Community Partnership Grant.
You are one busy lady. So Michelle, you are, as I mentioned, no stranger to our office. You have been acting as a family educator for the Amboy preschool program for the last number of years. You've got a background in school improvement, and now you're moving into this role as our regional family education and engagement specialist. Can you just maybe tell us a little bit more about your background and what this new role is that you are embarking on as well?
Like you said, I come from an education background. I really have a passion for what goes on in the classroom, but also what goes on at home to support the classroom. As a family education and engagement specialist for our region now, I'll be looking to kind of bring us back to that whole idea of it takes a village. Like you mentioned, we're seeing just astronomical numbers of, issues with anxiety and depression in our society and with our young people, with our teachers and our families as well. And so my role is kind of going to bring that around to us all working together again for the, to take what was good from before the pandemic and kind of combine it with what's good, what we learned during the pandemic, and just kind of keep moving forward in a good way.
Isn't that the truth? It takes a village. I mean, really, it truly does take a village. Katie, I'm going to ask you this first. This whole idea of community partnerships, partnering with our families, with our schools, with the community as a whole. Why is this so important, especially now with just coming off of, the pandemic, people trying to find their new normal, dealing with everything that happened in the last couple of years? Why is this idea so important as kind of a new program that we're going to start implementing in our area?
So after coming out of COVID and trying to get back into the swing of things, there's many different partnerships within our community that offer different services and resources. And one of the big things with the community partnerships is to really be able to collaborate with those other partnerships to help, find out what services and resources they offer, so we can spread the word, maybe join forces with them so we can be bigger and stronger. And it really helps with supporting the students and families from all the different aspects, from school to at home to within the community.
Michelle, I know that you had said, one of the roles that you're going to be doing is more the family side. Can you kind of speak on this topic from the family point of view and family engagement? Why, again, the importance of that right now and kind of the crazy world that we're living in?
So really the theme going this year is engage and re-engage. I think we've got some relearning to do about how everything works together. And that goes from bringing schools and families back together. It goes from bringing the families back into the schools, engaging our schools with community partners in new and different ways, and in some of the good old ways that we had too. And in some cases, it's even changing how parents and families are interacting within their small unit. And so that's a lot of what we're going to be tackling from the family engagement side of our work that we're doing.
Ladies, one of the things that I love about this opportunity and the work that we're engaged in is it is so multifaceted. So we are not just strictly approaching this from the school perspective. We're not strictly approaching it from the provider perspective. We're really, as you mentioned, trying to bring all parties to the table to talk about what it is we want to accomplish, who we want to be as a community, and how we can best serve every child, every family, every educator, every person in our 3-county area with coordinated services and additional supports and access. So really excited and proud of the work that has already happened. Just so our viewers know, want to contextualize a little bit about this funding opportunity. March 11th of last year, we received notification from the Illinois State Board of Education that we were awarded the Community Partnership Grant. This is something that we knew in our communities we needed. We already had some of these pieces in place, and we're already kind of moving forward in a committed fashion to helping and partnering to meet some of these needs. And this funding opportunity has allowed us to scale more of those efforts. So specifically within this grant, we are very excited to announce that we're going to be working on integrated wellness supports for students, families, and educators, because we know our educational community also has a great deal of need as a result of the last 2 years, but even before that. We are going to look to provide additional supports and services to extend learning and social emotional opportunities for kids in the 3-county area. We're going to, as Michelle mentioned, look to further engage and re-engage our families, not only in their school communities, but also as a smaller family unit, as she mentioned, and within the community in general. And we also want to focus on collaborative leadership practices. So we know that there are great things happening in our 3 county areas, and we've got lots of different leadership teams who are coming together to work on particular projects. And we want to bring all of that together in a very coordinated and cohesive and coherent method so that we can work stronger together. So those are some of the things that we're up to in our grant and in our work. Those are the things that we are prioritizing. And so I am going to ask Katie to maybe tell us a little bit more about specifically for this school year, what are some of those activities when we think about integrated wellness services, when we think about having a prevention focused lens, we think about working with marginalized populations within our communities. What are those things that we have in the works for this year that you're excited about?
So for this year, we have a few things in the works. One is, I had mentioned, I'm with the SEL Hub out of Rockford, and we are going to be going into schools and doing a trauma-informed assessment and really working with the schools to build action plans on social emotional learning for and supports for the staff, the students, and all that. And then we are planning on providing education and information on trauma to different groups within our community, from adults to students, and different people who might have a lot of contact with students, like the bus drivers, the paraeducators, and then providing some like de-escalation strategies and peer-to-peer warning signs to students to help build that education. And then just really providing a lot of education on trauma and what to look for when with mental health.
You will certainly be busy this year, that's for sure. Michelle, from the family focus lens, can you tell us a little bit more specifically about some of the great things and ideas that you have in place to engage, as you said, and re-engage those families?
Gosh, the possibilities are endless, but we are looking to bring some traveling family events to our area. So we're talking about the ROE 47 area of Lee Ogle and Whiteside. And that can include family and parenting activities and tips, some events to bring together families with community agencies or community people that can help. And so then we're also partnering with the U of I Extension for some work with some mindfulness, and they've got some really great things on the horizon planned, and we're excited to kind of bring that forth to us too. So just anything that we can do to engage families with each other, families with schools. We're looking into some networking for some family groups, for special needs, or, I've got a child who has this kind of need, and connecting families with each other as another way of the support group. So just a lot of really cool, exciting things on the horizon for our whole area, for the whole ROE, and just looking forward to kind of bringing it out to all of the counties and cities in our region. So
I've sure covered a lot today, and I feel like there could be a lot of questions being geared towards Katie and Michelle. So I will make sure that in the post, you will see contact information for not only ROE 47, but specifically for Michelle and Katie. We'll leave their emails there. Definitely an area of need that we address that today, but really a great program that I'm excited to really kind of watch unfold and, get those services out to community members, to families, to schools. So if you are a community partnership, an agency that's sitting here thinking, I want to get in on this sounds really great. I have some services that could help these ladies, and that they could kind of be the ones to get them out to our schools. Make sure that you pay attention to the post here, because we will leave contact information and kind of the next steps if you want to be a part of this great work.
It is great work. And, I just want to reiterate as we wrap up our teacher talk for this morning, our 3 county area has incredible services, incredible people who are devoted to doing what's best for not only kids, but families and all people who are residents of our 3 county area. And so our intent is to strengthen those partnerships, to re-engage families, and to really act and think and plan and collaborate in a very prevention-focused way, and especially thinking about those groups that maybe perhaps in the past have had barriers to engagement or participation, and really focusing our efforts on problem solving and getting those services out to those families. So we are excited for the work. We are excited to be partnering and learning more about the great things that are happening in our 3 county areas. And so just to echo what Stacey said, if you're interested in finding out more, please don't hesitate to reach out to Katie and Michelle or any one of our team members at the Regional Office of Education. Anyone is very happy to help and be of service. Friends, that wraps up this Thursday's edition of Teacher Talk. We hope that you have found it to be informative and inspiring. We always appreciate hearing from you and the fact that you tune in each and every week to another edition of Teacher Talk. So as we close out our time here on Facebook this morning, we hope that you have a great rest of your Thursday, an even better Friday, a glorious fall weekend, and we will see you right back here next Thursday for another edition of Teacher Talk.